Hey everyone, in this video, I'm going to share my simple trading plan on the gold market for this week, including my full analysis, entries, profit targets, no matter if the market goes up or down, especially because of all the news and all the craziness that's been happening. It's an election year. So having this analysis is going to better prepare you for the weeks ahead. So make sure you watch until the end because no one is showing all of this information. And definitely got some love from some of you here on YouTube about these videos. One person saying don't stop. This person saying how everything is simple. This person is saying that they made 120 pips this past week. Amazing. And this person is saying that they have also made money inside of the market. So go ahead and watch this analysis. So as usual, this is what happened last week. I only took one trade on gold because a lot of this happened when I was sleeping or wasn't looking at the market, so it's totally okay. You're gonna miss moves. So let's go ahead as usual and start on the weekly time frame. Let me remove all of the drawings. All right, cool. And then let's go ahead and zoom in right here just so that way we can all see the price action. Okay, so this past week was a little crazy, especially because right here we see that we made new highs inside of the market. Price got as high as 24.83. Before the high was somewhere around 24.50. And price came up here and rejected and closed bearish. So that tells me that there's a higher probability for this upcoming week for price to continue bearish, but how far bearish, we don't know that. But that's why we're going to use our analysis to plan for the upside and for the downside. So looking at the weekly time frame, I definitely want to mark off a level around 24.24. Fun number, 24.24, mainly because I have this wick going through that. I have this wick touching, this wick going through, this wick almost there. Let's see, if we push it, no, I kind of like 24.24, not 2020. 24.24. So I also want to draw off a level right at the top of where this wick made the highest point inside of the market. Now it may look kind of weird putting this level right at the top at the wick, but as we move down to lower time frames, we will see candles actually appear there, and then it will give us a better idea of where to place this level. So with that being said, let's go ahead and continue to draw some levels. So I'm actually going to clone this line, just Control C, Control V, and then I'm actually going to put another level around 23.15, let's say, mainly because we have this candle piercing the line. We have this candle right here. So this bearish and bullish candle right here together actually form a nice support. So I actually want to take, and then we have this third candle right here touching the level as well. So I also want to clone this level again on the weekly time frame and place it right around 22.87, mainly because we also have another support down here. We have these two wicks, and then if we look left, we also see this level right here touching. So looking good so far. So now let's go down to the daily time frame. Let's readjust our chart a little bit and zoom in so we can see the price action. So now we can see that there's a lot more candles that are here on the chart, which is good because it gives us a lot more information. And if you remember on the previous time frame, the weekly, this was nothing but wick. Now we're actually seeing some candles. Now we can get a better gauge of what price is going to be doing. So let's go ahead and look at our levels. This top level looks good. This right here, I do want to move this up to around 24, let's just say 25. And then this level right here is still looking good to me. This level down here, I do want to move it down just a tad to 22.85, mainly because of this level right here. We do have 4 daily candles touching this level. We still have some touches here, so everything is looking good. So now let's go down to H4 time frame. Once again, adjust our views. Now we got a lot more data. We got to scoot in a whole bunch. So let me scoot this in a lot. All right, there we go. So now we can see at this all-time high level, price pretty much made a double top. Now, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I'm not crazy about chart patterns such as head and shoulders and stuff, just because I feel like that pattern is very subjective, but I do like double tops and double bottoms. And that's exactly what happened, and price came down, sold off tremendously. So I like this level placement. And then this right here, this still looks good. And if you remember from past weeks, we did have this level marked off. And we look left, we do see a candle rejecting this level. So one level I do want to mark off is 2450 area, mainly because if you remember, that was our previous high. So let me go ahead and get a box and then mark this off. And then we're going to drag it over. All right, so now that we got it dragged or drugged, now that we drug this box over, now we can see that there is a level right here. There's a support that came to this level and then bounced up and then broke that support and then continued to sell down. That's just giving me more confirmation that this level placement is valid. So let's go ahead and see what else we can find here on the H4 time frame. These other levels that we have drawn before looks good, so I'm just going to leave those alone, but I do see some H4 levels within here that I do want to mark off, focusing more on recent price action. So one of the things I do want to mark off as I'm looking across the chart is actually a level around 2400 flat. One is because that is a nice psychological level. Second is because, let's zoom into this section right here. All right, cool. So 2400 flat, psychological level, and then second, we also see that price broke up above, came back, retested this level, and then rejected and continued to push up. Not once, but twice it came back to this level. And then as far as the market closing on Friday, price did break this level and price stopped at this level. So it'll be interesting to see when the market opens up what will actually happen, but I do want to have this marked off for that reason. And then now that I'm looking a little bit closer, I do want to mark off one more level. So typically I don't have this many levels on H4, but I do want to mark this off just because price did make all-time highs and there's a lot of price action within here. So I do want to mark off this level right at 2350, let's just say 53.54, mainly because we have all of these rejections right here. A big rejection came up back to the same level, came up, rejected, and then pushed all the way up from this point. So I definitely want to mark that off. Now that I'm looking at this chart, I don't want to fill up my chart with too many lines. So let's go ahead and go to H2 and see what else we can see. And we could see very clearly these H4 levels that we just drew are looking perfect on the H2 time frame with a lot more information. I am going to zoom out just to make sure that all of my other levels that I've drawn on other time frames still look good. So let me go ahead and scoot all of this in. And this is going to look like a bit of an eye chart, so it's totally okay. We're just basically just trying to get a general sense of what is happening inside of this market. So this top level looks great. This level, great. This level looks great. This level that we drew on H4, great, great. And then these were the ones that we drew on the weekly is still lining up. So it's perfect. So let's go down to H1, our last time frame, before we get into the rest of the analysis. So I'm just going to spot, anything that I may want to adjust. Right now, it's looking really good. We have a nice little support right here that rejected perfectly and then broke down. So this is making me feel a lot better about this level. However, this level around 2400 flat, I do want to adjust it a little bit downward to about 2395, mainly because we have a nice support here. First off, we have this rejection here. We have a support here. And then we also have a lot of rejections in this zone at the same level. So that's why I wanted to adjust that on H1. Let's see, this level is still looking good. This level around 2354 still looks great. And I'm just going to the left and just making sure everything lines up. Everything here looks great. Now, one thing I do see around 2295 is a level that I do want to mark off, mainly because let's zoom into this level a little bit. Mainly because right in here, we can see that price has came down to this level, rejected, and then it almost touched this level, but it didn't quite make it. And we saw how crazily this market moved this past week. So it coming all the way back down here is not out of the realm of possibility. So I do want to have that marked off, and that is looking good for me for the H1 time frame. All right. So now that we got all of that drawn off, we got our all-time high up here, we got the old high right here, and price is currently sitting here. So where could price potentially go? So this is what I want to mark off. So right now at this level at 23.97, price is holding this as a support. So what I would want to see, let me mark this off, if price breaks above this 24.05 level, I do want to buy. I am generally bullish on the market, but obviously we got to follow what price action is actually doing. So I do want to entertain buys above this level, and that's 208 pips, an amazing range for the way that I trade. And then of course, if price continues to move up right here, I do want to take it up to the previous high of 24.50. And then, of course, I want to continue to ride this wave up all the way to, not all the way up, and I'm going to tell you why. I want to ride it up to 24.71, and it would basically be at about this level. So why? Because price at one point bounced off of this level, came up to this point, and then continued to sell off. So if price fails to rise up above that level again, I don't want to try to risk trying to take the trade all the way up to the top when in the past, it did not get to that point. It actually sold off at that level. So I want to play it safe. That would be, the ultimate target, but really targeting this level right here could be a little bit safer, but I'm willing to take that chance based on probabilities and try to get up to this level. So that's an idea for the upside. For the downside, what I would want to do is to actually take price once it gets below 23.96 all the way down to about 23.50, let's just say 55. 55, mainly because in the past price formed a really nice support here. It also formed supports more recently right here, and if it breaks this support, then it tells me that it has a higher probability of coming all the way down here, which is 407 pips, although there are some stops that it could make along the way, such as right here around 23.78. It could stop there. And as you can see, I'm just using a market structure to pick my TPs or my target points. Right here at 23.70, I like that number. And then finally all the way down here. So these are essentially some points that I'm looking at. And then of course, if it breaks below this 23 kind of 55, 50 area, then I am looking for price to come all the way down to 23.18. That would be, or 23, let's just say 16, 17. That would be a massive move. And then, of course, I would just ride the trend down if it continued to move down. But generally, this is what I'm looking for inside of the market for this upcoming week. And if you haven't already checked out the 54 tips to eliminate fear and take profitable day trades, you are missing out, mainly because people have had some amazing things to say about this, basically saying that everything comes together by going through this checklist and tapping all of these different things. So make sure you go ahead and check it out, because it is definitely going to transform the way that you have traded thus far. And so many people have downloaded this. Is actually one of my most popular downloads, with almost 100 downloads just in the past 6 days. So go ahead and check it out, and I'll see you next time.